Do you ever feel like no matter how hard you work, you're always one step behind financially? You're not alone, and it's not just about how much money you make. The real reasons might be hiding in plain sight, buried in your daily habits, mindset, and financial decisions. If you're tired of spinning your wheels and ready for a reality check, here are 5 unspoken truths about why you're still broke and what you can do to change it. Attachment creates suffering, and a craving for material possessions or wealth often leads to patterns of overspending, accumulating debt, and a lingering sense of dissatisfaction. This cycle can feel inescapable as the pursuit of financial status or possessions becomes deeply intertwined with our sense of self-worth and happiness. However, this attachment creates a fragile foundation as it hinges on external circumstances that are often beyond our control. When desires for material gains remain unfulfilled, the emotional toll can manifest as stress, frustration, or even despair. Buddhist teachings emphasize that clinging to impermanent things is a root cause of suffering, known as dukkha. This perspective challenges the assumption that wealth or possessions can provide lasting happiness. Money, like all external entities, is inherently transient. It fluctuates, comes, and goes. As long as we base our contentment on acquiring and retaining it, we are setting ourselves up for inevitable disappointment. This attachment not only intensifies financial struggles, but also blinds us to deeper sources of joy and fulfillment that lie beyond the material. Understanding this teaching invites a profound shift in how we relate to money and possessions. It is not about rejecting wealth entirely, but about recognizing its limitations and reframing its role in our lives. Instead of seeing money as the ultimate goal, it becomes a tool to support a balanced and meaningful existence. This perspective helps create space for mindful choices that prioritize long-term well-being over fleeting desires. Mindfulness about spending can transform the way we approach financial decisions. Each purchase becomes an opportunity to pause and reflect. Do I truly need this, or am I seeking temporary gratification? This practice fosters greater self-awareness and helps break the cycle of impulsive buying driven by emotional or societal pressures. Over time, it cultivates a sense of freedom as we begin to see that our worth and happiness are not dictated by external possessions. Ultimately, the path to liberation from this cycle lies in embracing contentment with what we already have. By shifting focus from what we lack to the abundance present in our lives, we discover a deeper sense of satisfaction. This practice, grounded in gratitude and mindfulness, allows us to engage with the material world without becoming enslaved by it. It transforms our relationship with money, freeing us from the suffering caused by attachment and opening the door to a more peaceful, purposeful life. Your mindset shapes your reality. Negative beliefs about money often act as invisible barriers to financial growth. Thoughts like, "I'll never be wealthy," or "money is the root of all evil," create a mindset rooted in scarcity and fear. These beliefs shape our decisions, behaviors, and opportunities, often reinforcing the very struggles we wish to escape. When we internalize these narratives, they manifest as self-sabotaging habits. Avoiding financial planning, underestimating our potential, or missing out on opportunities due to fear of failure. Without challenging these patterns, we remain trapped in cycles of limitation. Buddhism teaches us that the mind is incredibly powerful in shaping our reality. The Buddha's insight, "What you think, you become," underscores the idea that our thoughts and perceptions are not passive, but active forces in our lives. A mindset of scarcity breeds more scarcity, not because of external circumstances alone, but because it filters how we perceive and engage with the world. On the other hand, thoughts rooted in abundance, gratitude, and possibility create a foundation for constructive actions and resilience. Our mental habits are not separate from our external realities. They are deeply interconnected. Shifting to a mindset of abundance requires a conscious effort to reframe our relationship with money and success. It begins with recognizing and letting go of limiting beliefs that no longer serve us. Gratitude becomes a powerful tool in this transformation, allowing us to focus on what we already have rather than dwelling on what we lack. This shift does not mean ignoring financial struggles, but approaching them with a sense of hope and resourcefulness. Gratitude fosters a sense of sufficiency, which is the antidote to the endless craving that fuels dissatisfaction. Aligning financial goals with ethical and purposeful intentions is another step toward creating a positive mindset. When we see money as a tool for good, we transform it from a source of stress into a means of fulfilling our values and aspirations. This alignment provides clarity and motivation, turning financial pursuits into meaningful endeavors rather than empty ambitions. With purpose guiding our financial decisions, we cultivate a sense of integrity that makes success feel both attainable and worthwhile. Ultimately, this transformation is not a quick fix, but an ongoing practice of mindfulness and self-awareness. The stories we tell ourselves about money, worth, and possibility can either confine us or set us free. By consciously choosing thoughts that empower us, we open the door to new opportunities and growth. A mindset of abundance allows us to see wealth not just in terms of material gain, but in the richness of life itself. Shifting our focus from scarcity to possibility and paving the way for lasting change. Ignorance leads to poor decisions, a significant issue that keeps many people trapped in cycles of debt and financial scarcity is a lack of understanding about how money works. This ignorance manifests in various ways, such as impulsive spending, living paycheck to paycheck without a clear plan, or failing to think about the long-term consequences of financial decisions. When people don't take the time to learn about managing their finances, they often find themselves repeating the same mistakes, unable to break free from a sense of instability. This unawareness creates a pattern of reactive behavior where immediate gratification takes precedence over mindful planning and sustainable growth. In Buddhism, ignorance, or avidya, is identified as a root cause of suffering because it clouds judgment and prevents people from seeing reality as it is. Without clarity and awareness, decision-making becomes misguided, leading to outcomes that perpetuate dissatisfaction and hardship. In the context of finances, this ignorance translates into choices made without understanding their full implications, such as accumulating debt through unnecessary purchases or neglecting to build a safety net for the future. Ignorance blinds people to the opportunities they might have to improve their situation, keeping them stuck in a cycle of anxiety and struggle. Breaking free from this cycle requires a commitment to self-education and mindful awareness. Just as the Buddha encouraged his followers to seek wisdom and cultivate understanding, the same approach applies to financial matters. Learning about budgeting, saving, and investing is not just practical, it's empowering. By gaining knowledge and adopting disciplined habits, individuals can make informed choices that lead to greater stability and peace of mind. This education doesn't need to be overwhelming. Starting with small, consistent steps can lead to profound change over time. When people begin to see money as a tool rather than an end goal, they can align their financial decisions with their deeper values. Much like the Eightfold Path offers guidance for living ethically and mindfully, developing a clear financial plan provides a framework for achieving security while avoiding unnecessary suffering. By prioritizing what truly matters and learning to manage resources wisely, individuals can create a sense of balance and purpose in their financial lives. This shift is not just about accumulation, but about fostering a healthier, more intentional relationship with money. Ultimately, addressing ignorance in financial matters is about more than just numbers. It's about cultivating awareness and breaking free from patterns that lead to unnecessary suffering. This process requires patience and effort, but it offers lasting rewards. When people take the time to learn and act with intention, they can escape the pitfalls of impulsivity and unawareness, building a foundation for a life that is not only financially stable, but also aligned with their highest aspirations. Karma. Actions have consequences. Financial hardship often arises from patterns of behavior rooted in careless actions. Living beyond one's means, neglecting financial responsibilities, or failing to prepare for future needs creates a cycle of struggle that can feel insurmountable. These habits, often repeated without much thought, establish a foundation of instability. Over time, the cumulative effects of these actions, like mounting debt, missed opportunities, or a lack of savings, begin to weigh heavily. Breaking free from this cycle requires more than just external changes. It demands a deeper awareness of how these patterns were formed and the willingness to address them. In Buddhist philosophy, karma emphasizes that every action, as well as inaction, has consequences. This is not about punishment or reward, but rather a natural law of cause and effect. Your financial state today is largely the result of past decisions, whether they were made consciously or not. This perspective invites reflection rather than judgment, encouraging you to take responsibility for your current situation. By acknowledging the role of past choices in shaping your present, you can begin to reclaim agency over your financial life. Shifting your financial karma involves intentional and mindful actions that replace unhelpful habits with constructive ones. Small steps consistently applied can lead to profound change over time. Creating a budget, for example, provides clarity and structure, while prioritizing savings helps build a buffer for unforeseen challenges. Reducing debt, even incrementally, lightens the burden and fosters a sense of progress. These efforts may seem modest at first, but they set in motion a ripple effect of positive outcomes that compound over the long term. The process of transformation begins with self-awareness. Taking time to reflect on your relationship with money and the behaviors that contribute to financial strain is essential. This might involve examining not only spending habits, but also the underlying emotions or beliefs that drive them. For example, are you spending to fill a void, to keep up appearances, or to escape stress? Understanding these motivations can help you make more intentional choices, breaking free from automatic reactions and fostering a healthier relationship with your finances. Ultimately, reshaping your financial karma is about aligning your actions with your values and long-term goals. While it may take time and effort to undo the effects of past decisions, every mindful step forward creates a foundation for greater stability and peace. The journey is as much about cultivating patience and self-compassion as it is about implementing practical strategies. In embracing this process, you can move from a place of struggle to one of empowerment, creating a future that reflects not just material well-being, but also inner balance and fulfillment. True wealth is inner peace. Chasing wealth often leads people down a path of relentless striving, where the focus on acquiring more money or possessions comes at the expense of their well-being. This pursuit can create a sense of chronic stress and anxiety, as the goalposts for success and satisfaction continually shift. Many find that even when they achieve financial milestones, the inner dissatisfaction they hope to resolve remains. This is because true happiness cannot be found in external accomplishments or material gain. It is an internal state that wealth alone cannot buy. The Buddha's teachings remind us that craving, whether for wealth, status, or possessions, is a source of suffering. The more we chase, the more we feed an insatiable desire that never truly brings contentment. Instead of finding joy, we become trapped in a cycle of wanting, acquiring, and then wanting more. This endless loop often blinds us to the deeper sources of fulfillment that are not tied to material achievements, but to inner peace and spiritual well-being. True wealth from a Buddhist perspective, lies in letting go of this craving and turning inward to cultivate a sense of peace and contentment. It's not about rejecting money or material comforts altogether, but recognizing their impermanence and their limitations in providing lasting happiness. When we detach from the idea that external success defines our worth or guarantees fulfillment, we free ourselves from the pressure to constantly strive and compare. This shift requires a conscious redefinition of what it means to be wealthy. It invites us to focus on what truly nourishes our spirit: deep relationships, meaningful experiences, and practices that bring inner peace. These are the riches that sustain us when external circumstances change or when material wealth proves insufficient to soothe our deeper longings. By investing in these aspects of life, we create a foundation of contentment that is not easily shaken. Cultivating inner peace also involves learning to be present and appreciating what we have rather than always reaching for what we don't. This mindfulness allows us to see the value in simplicity and to find joy in the small, everyday moments that we might otherwise overlook. It teaches us that happiness is not a distant destination, but a practice we can engage in here and now, regardless of our financial situation. Ultimately, the journey toward true wealth is one of turning inward and embracing what is timeless and enduring within us. While money can provide comfort and security, it is the intangible riches of the heart and mind, peace, love, and connection that bring the greatest satisfaction. Recognizing this truth allows us to approach life with greater clarity and balance, ensuring that we do not sacrifice our well-being in the pursuit of temporary gains. Buddhist teachings invite us to approach life with mindfulness, balance, and detachment, offering a perspective that transcends the material. Financial security, while undeniably significant, is not the ultimate goal of life. The relentless pursuit of wealth often leads to stress, dissatisfaction, and a sense of emptiness, if not grounded in a deeper purpose. Instead, true fulfillment arises when financial choices reflect mindfulness and align with our inner values. Living with awareness means being intentional about how we earn, spend, and save. It's not just about accumulating wealth, but understanding its role as a tool to support a meaningful life. Practicing mindfulness in financial matters encourages gratitude for what we have, rather than fixating on what we lack. It fosters a sense of sufficiency, helping us break free from the cycles of craving and consumption that often lead to debt and financial stress. By integrating these principles into daily life, we create a harmonious relationship with money that supports both our external needs and internal well-being. This balance allows us to live more authentically, prioritizing relationships, personal growth, and inner peace over material possessions. Aligning our financial practices with Buddhist values helps us step off the treadmill of scarcity and into a space where financial stability coexists with spiritual fulfillment.